Yours. Hi. Hello. I'm waiting on the guest. Um, hopefully, can make it tonight. So instead, I thought I would sing you some songs. Let's sing. Let's do Bohemian Rhapsody. I think will be first a cappella in the key of. Uh, Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Outside Aquatics, Outside In. Hello. I enjoyed your stream today with Jorge. Um, Good getting to meet you a little bit. If you were a Bears fan, we could be friends, but you're not. So, you can go F yourself. I'm just kidding. It was very cool to get to meet you, and I love what Jorge's doing over there. He's doing a great job. Hopefully, my guest is able to join us soon. Let's say some highs while we're waiting. Sketty Nona was first in. Hello, Sketty. Bionic Bigfoot. He is here today. That's a change because usually when he says he's here today, he's not, and vice versa. Lando, hello, sir. J Rock, hello. Eric Y Rock, you better be auto tuned. I had so much fun today with that. So thank you everybody that watched. Really had a good time working on some of those stream things. Again, this is Talk Studio. This is Talk Studio from Streamlabs. And one thing I forgot that it has that's sort of fun is these little guys. These little guys. I'll always forget to use them, though. That was a bad one. Let's try this one. That's the one. I forgot to show you guys that. I mean, a lot of you people use this anyways, I think. But I'm switched over. I stopped using StreamYard. I'm doing this Talkspace now. It's cheaper. Actually, for me, it's free. Oh, look. There's Diego.
Hey, how's it going?
No echoes. Everything sounds good. Diego, it's been forever since I've seen your face on a stream. So hi.
Hey.
Okay, real quick, let me do my normal spiel for the chat because there is some new people around because I haven't done a focus on in forever. So
okay.
Let's let me talk to the chat real quick. Again, I'm going to close the chat in just a second. So the whole first part of it, Diego and I are just going to have a conversation. We are not going to be seeing the chat at all. And the second part, the second hour there, we will open it up and you guys can ask questions of Diego and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you to everybody coming in. And I'm closing chat. Chat is gone. So I can't even see it. I don't just get distracted. It's all about you. Look. I even wore my nice tracksuit tonight, Diego. This is my nice one.
Oh, cool.
Okay, thanks for joining me. It's been quite some time. So,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad we finally got to get this sorted out. So, real quick, too, before we dive into Diego himself, he does, as you see in his name there, it's Petsotics.com. That is a store. That has a lot of fishy stuff. There's other stuff there too, right, Diego?
Yeah. It's for.
Go ahead.
It's for all. It's products for all types of animals, pets.
Okay. All kinds of different stuff there, though. And there's you've got some discounts available for people still, right? I think Jess, Lady Metalhead, has a discount, maybe, or are all those on right now? Are those still active?
A lot of them aren't active. I have to go back in my dashboard or back office and activate them.
Okay. So right now there's none.
Right.
Right now there's currently. Okay. Just wanted to clarify. Yeah. Okay. So Diego, I forgot where you moved to. Is it North Carolina?
South.
I was pretty close.
Yeah.
I was pretty close. And you're from the Chicago area originally, right?
Yes.
Okay. So were you born and raised in Chicago area? Is that?
I was born in California, raised in Chicago.
Oh, okay. And when did you move to Chicago?
My parents settled there when I was like 5.
Okay. So you didn't really remember California too much. Chicago was home.
Yeah.
And are you a sports fan? Do you like any of the Chicago sports teams?
I'm not what I'm not a sports fan. What people think, how people think, but I do. I'll get into like basketball once in a while,
Hmm.
but as far as everything goes, not really.
Okay. I that's the one I don't like. I'm not a basketball fan. That's because I never could play it, so I just didn't enjoy watching it. I sucked at it so bad.
And
Football, at least I could play a little bit. So okay,
yeah. and
and
so so and so whenever we talk about sports, I always say, well, I'm not into like really sports, but if I had to choose one, it'd be basketball. If I had to pick a team, of course, it would have to be the Bulls.
okay, all right. Well, at least that's something, I guess,
Yeah,
for you people that live in Chicago. Except for people like Whip, who is a Steelers fan for some unknown reason. It's just disgusting. He's lived in the Chicago area forever, and he's a Steelers fan.
yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in the Chicago area. Um, what made you move to North Carolina? It was family, right? Sorry,
Well,
South Carolina.
yeah. Well, I've been here almost 2 years, 3 years
Wow,
maybe. I'm not.
has it been that long?
Yeah.
No, it can't be 3 years because I've only been streaming for
No,
3 years.
it
And I know
was
you used to stream when I remember when you left for a while and moved. So
well,
2 years maybe.
yeah, 2 years, and so my sister by then she now lives like 5 years, but when I came, she only had 3 years, and so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go visit my sister for a couple of weeks and just hang out with her. And they drove me around, they showed me places, and I was like, wow, I love this place. I want to stay here. And they talked to my sister. She's like, fine, we'll help you out.
Nice, nice. So family, I guess sometimes family is okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes. Uh,
sometimes.
so let's walk through Chicago a little bit. What kind of jobs did you do in Chicago? I know you're sort of an entrepreneur. You've had your own business at different times and done things like that. But what kind of jobs did you hold when you lived in Chicago? What kind of things did you do?
My last two jobs before I came here were Petco,
Okay,
where where I want to say 4 years, and then because I got a better offer at Staples, which that offer never came through, and I was just given the runaround by management
ah,
for like maybe a year, a year and a half before I came to South Carolina. So I'm just like, you know what? Like my original plan was just to come for 2 weeks, but I told Staples, you know what? I'll see you. I won't be back.
gotcha.
Regardless whether I went back after 2 weeks or
Yeah,
not, I was gonna go back to Staples.
gotcha. And what other kind of stuff? Didn't you do something with like maintenance or something, aquarium maintenance or something? I thought at one time you were doing some of that. Am I wrong? Am I
No,
getting?
yeah, I was doing that. I had a few clients back in Chicago,
That's what I thought.
and
Yeah. So
and I
was that? Go ahead.
and I'll eventually start that up here again.
Gotcha.
I mean, now that I have a car, it's on my website that service is available. Like was before I didn't have a car, so I couldn't do it, but now that's not an issue.
And how long did you do that stuff on the side, the tank maintenance and stuff?
Um, I probably did for a couple years.
Okay. And let's go back farther. Was there anything like when you were a kid or anything you did in the Chicago area that was fun or stood out or anything? I don't even know how old you are. So when I say a kid, I'm assuming you're about 37.
No,
Higher, lower, which one?
higher.
Okay.
I don't mind. I don't mind saying it, but if you want to guess, go ahead.
No. Just tell us. I'll make it easier.
52.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I was way off. Well, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So, so back in the day, then way back when you were a kid in high school and stuff, did you work? going through high school? Did you work after high school, and what kind of stuff did you do? Anything fun?
The thing I remember my first job at age 16 was I worked at a Ponderosa.
I remember Ponderosa. Yeah,
Yeah, because it was just right down the street from where I lived,
yeah.
and I could just walk there.
Now, back then, do you remember, were the steaks actually made there, or were they already the frozen? Because I remember when I was a little kid, I would go with my grandpa. He loved Ponderosa, and we would go to Ponderosa, and the steaks were really good at that time. That was way long time ago.
Yeah,
Um, did they come in frozen and they just heat them up, or did they actually cook steaks there when you were a kid? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay,
I
okay,
never really did I go in the kitchen.
gotcha. Because today they're not good. They're just not good. But back when I was a little kid, they actually did cook the steaks and everything. They didn't just get like just a frozen pre-cooked steak that they were warming up like they do today.
Are,
So it was
are
it
they
was
even
really
still
good stuff.
around?
Yeah, there's still some in some areas. Not like it used to be, but they're still around. You
Oh,
know what?
okay.
I'm going to look real quick while we're talking because I could be wrong, and they might have gone out of business. Pondersome, Ponderosa. Hold on, let me just look it up. Ponderosa and Bonanza Steakhouse. Yeah, they still have them. Founded in 1965, so that would have been right about the time. So a little bit after there, a few years after that, like early 70s. Looks like they've got a few of them. So they are still around. They are still around, just not like they used to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so you worked at a Ponderosa, and what came after that? God, now I want a steak. When it comes to food, I am so well, if I most of the time advertising doesn't really work on me. I don't believe in it. I think it's a lot of just marketing fluff. But when it comes to food, I know that it still is, but I don't care. I want that whatever that is, and now I want a steak.
Yeah.
It's very easy to influence my food choices, and I
Yeah.
always want food too. So okay, so what was after Ponderosa?
As far as jobs,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
We're gonna go through all of them if you remember them.
I may forget a couple, but my
Yeah.
next one that I can remember was I actually worked at a Kmart before it became Super K
Wow.
and Big K
Yeah.
at age 18, and I was actually loss prevention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm seeing sort of a trend here, though, because you worked at all these places that either shut down or got bought out. So, what'd you
Yeah.
do? What'd you do, Diego? I mean,
I
Kmart's
they
gone. Australia still has them, but Ponderosa's pretty much gone. It's not like it used to be. I think it's Diego. I really do,
well
people. I think it's
they shut down like long after I'm gone.
yeah, but it was
So
domino effect. You started it.
yeah,
I'm
and
convinced. I'm convinced.
yeah, sometimes I'm convinced too because it's not only the first two. There's been various jobs I had that closed down.
See, there's a trend here. What are some of the other ones? And again, if you don't remember them all, that's okay. But just some of the highlights, I guess.
Yeah. Um, and then, well, I don't know if that was after, but I also worked at a small pet store,
Okay.
and again it closed.
Okay. Now,
But but
during that
it,
time,
it
were
was
you already into fishes and stuff? Did you enjoy keeping fish already at that point of your life,
um
or
I mean we growing up we kept like 10-gallon tanks and fish bowls and stuff like that, but I never had a really an interest. and when I worked at that small pet store, the owner, I don't know if he's gotten off of done with a divorce or maybe a few months, where his wife moved away. It's the same state in Illinois, but like further down, I don't know if it's north or south. In Champaign, Illinois. I don't remember if
Yeah.
it's north or south. And
South, not super far.
and and she took the kids, and he was left running the store by himself. So when he hired me, he just became like he started becoming an absentee owner, where eventually I was the only one running the store.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, you know, if you want me to do this by myself, I can't. You got to hire one or two people. He goes, well, I can't hire two, but I'll hire one. And so he did. And but he was still being an absentee owner. And one day he just came in one morning when after like maybe 10 minutes after I opened. He's like, you know what? I'm shutting it down. I can't do it anymore. I was like, you're not doing it. I'm doing it. I'm here every morning till close. It's me
Yeah.
that's doing it.
he,
And he goes, yeah. Regardless, I can't afford to pay my house, and pay rent here, and all the bills.
yeah.
But before that, when he was still like showing up and working his store, I was like, okay, I saw his fish tank, saltwater and freshwater, and that's when the interest coming started to come in.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, I would like to know more about fish, both freshwater and saltwater. He's like, okay, I'll teach you everything you know. I mean, everything I know. And so he did. But then again, he started being absentee. Then after that, a couple months later, he's like, I'm gonna shut it down. And I'm like, well, okay. And that's when my light bulb clicked in. I remember I was 20. I was still going to a junior college, taking criminal justice because that law enforcement also interested me.
Yeah.
And my light bulb turned on, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you're gonna close down anyway, let me take let me clean up the store. Let me buy everything from you. I can't pay for like upfront. I'll give you payment as I go. And then he didn't want payments. He just like wanted to get like rid of it all at once, give it to one seller. And I'm like, well, you know better that you know better than me that if you try to sell it to another store, they're not gonna want everything. They may just want the tanks or the shelves. They're not gonna want that everything. And I'm like, so would you rather go through the hassle of selling this to this person and that to that person and this to this person, or just let me take it all? I'll deal with it and I'll give you the payments. And he thought about it for a couple of seconds. He's like, done. And
Nice.
and he goes, but I'm not helping you move anything. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll
I'm
do
not
it.
helping you move. You guys sounds like well, he was going through a divorce, and I've been through that, and I know how rough that is. And I didn't even have kids then, so I know how much a divorce can change your outlook on things, especially a messy one. So you can't judge him for that, but still, at the same time, I'm not going to help you move anything. It's
No,
you
no,
know.
I'm not.
So
Yeah,
did you move into another place and start a pet store, or is that when you started selling stuff on? Well, that was probably way too early to sell stuff online.
yeah.
What was your next step then?
My next step was to look for a location because I didn't even have that. I was just like, okay, I'll take all, but I had no idea where I was going to put it. I couldn't
Yeah.
take it back to my house and put it in my garage because I
Yeah.
didn't have enough space.
Yeah.
And I couldn't bring it in the house either because that'd just be way too much. So I was like, shoot, now what am I going to do? So I started looking for a location. I'm like, okay, I found one. At that time, there was a pharmacist, a pharmacy. It's like the local pharmacy, and my dad and I became good friends with a pharmacist to a point to where my dad started calling by his first name, which was Frank Farland. So he would come in and start calling. We got close to that pharmacy that like I said, my dad started calling Frank, and then Frank bought the pharmacy. He was a pharmacist, then bought the pharmacy, and then he bought the strip mall behind the pharmacy. And I found that. So and I went to go talk to Mr. Farland, and I'm like, "Can you help me out? I'm looking for a location. I know you want the strip mall behind your pharmacy, and I don't have any money, but I'm gonna talk to my dad about it. He'll come talk to you. He'll work out a deal with you. And so we did, and I moved all the stuff into that location.
Nice. So you owned a brick and mortar pet store when you were what, 20 or so, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Nice. Okay. So you definitely had that entrepreneurial spirit going even back then.
yeah.
How well did the pet store do? How long did it last?
Oh, it didn't last very long because my dad was helping me with the rent. I mean,
Yeah.
I took care of like the light and all the other utility bills and all the other stuff. But my dad took care of the rent, and I don't remember if he was in his first couple years of his retirement or he was getting into his retirement.
Oh. So he just couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Yeah. So he's like, I can't do it anymore. If you want to keep doing it, you have to find your own way. If not, sorry.
Yeah.
And so now I had to like figure out what to do with the livestock and the stuff. I mean the dry goods and the stuff. It wasn't really a big issue because whatever didn't sell, I could just toss or give away whatever. But as far as the livestock, I mean, yes, I could give livestock away, but I can't throw it away.
Yeah.
And actually,
Was it, I'm sorry to interrupt you, was it just fish or did you have, cats and dogs and birds and stuff and
it,
reptiles
it
or?
was it was mostly fish, a few reptiles, and one dog. Because at the time he sold puppies too.
Oh,
So he had one dog, and I was like, well, my dad my dad is okay with dogs having dogs. He always wanted dogs in the house, but not my mom. She loves dogs, but from a distance.
this is for
And
Diego's mom.
yeah, and and so I'm like, okay, now what am I gonna do with this puppy? And so I heard from family that my uncle was looking for a puppy, but it was a dachshund at that it was a dachshund. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what type of puppy my uncle's looking for, but I'm gonna go offer this to him for a. I think that time was like low low price was like 400. I think because it was AKC and all that, it makes it more expensive. So
Yeah.
I think at that time the regular retail was like $600-700 for that puppy. And so I told Michael, I heard you were looking for a puppy. I got this one available. I bought out a store. This is what I had to take. I don't plan on selling puppies at my place, but
Yeah.
but that's what I got. What I got, and he's like, how much? I'm like 4 or 500. He's like, I'll give you four. I'm like, fine. And so so he took it, and I sold the puppy displaced the cages, and I made more room for other stuff.
And did the puppy have a nice, happy, long life?
Yeah,
Okay. That's all.
yeah.
That's, if we get nothing else tonight, we got that the puppy got it. And do you remember the dog's name? What did the dog get named? I got to know. I got to know.
Oh, what was it?
Call your uncle. Let's get this over with. Just kidding.
It was Charlie.
Charlie, a dachshund named Charlie. Okay.
Yeah,
I love him already. I can tell he's a good boy.
yeah. He, whenever I visited him, he smelled me, and it was like he remembered who I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
It sucks, that life. I'm glad that a lot of places are no longer, pet stores are no longer. We won't get into it. But I'm just glad that little by little we're realizing what we've got with our furry friends, and we're taking care of them better. Um,
yeah,
so that they don't go through some of that stuff. We still got a long ways to go, but we're getting there. So, okay.
yeah.
So you didn't get to do that too long, but that sort of did that sort of get you interested in doing your own thing at that point? And what year are we talking about roughly? Are we still in the 90s, or are we in the 2000s now? We got to be in the 90s, right?
Yeah, late '80s, early '90s, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. So still
like
a long way
30
away from
years
the
ago.
internet. Yeah. Still a long way away from the real internet. I mean, it was available in 90. We did some dial-up stuff in the late 80s, but it wasn't like, we weren't selling stuff through it like that. So,
Yeah.
okay.
But
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, but if you really want to hear about my truly first entrepreneurial experience, which at the time I had no idea I was doing business. I was just doing it. I was in high school, and I was
Oh,
just doing
I
it.
made some money in high school too, but probably for different things.
And at the time, I didn't know like buy wholesale, sell retail, the P&L, which is profit and loss statements, and every all the paper and everything that goes with business. I didn't know any of that. Of course, I was in high school. I didn't know any of that, and I didn't know I was actually doing it. I was doing it without knowing it existed.
Gotcha.
So what it was is, I started taking like cans of soda, of Coke, just for me to have them in my locker. And then they had one of those Coke machines. We had a Coke machine at our high school, and I think at the time they sold them for like 75 cents, 65 cents, something like that. And so my friends would come up to me and ask me for one, and no problem. I love to share, so here, there you go, friends. But then I'm like, wait a minute, there, all my friends are drinking all my Coke, and I have to keep putting money. So if anything, yes, they can go to the machine and pay 65 cents, but if they're getting it from me anyway, why not charge them 50 cents?
Yeah.
That way they come to me, not the machine.
Yeah.
And and so I started telling them, you know what? I'll be happy to sell you a Coke because I'm not getting it for free. It's only 50 cents. If you want to find it, if not, that's fine. So the word got around that I was selling pop, and eventually I was making money without making money, because at the time I would buy the 12 packs, and I would get them for, I don't remember, like 25 cents a can, 35 cents a can. So I was, by selling 'em at 50 cents, I was actually making a profit. But at the time I was just like, okay, I didn't know what I was doing, like that was, I was into getting into the business,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, I'm just making. I thought I'm just making money to buy my personal supply, and and actually and actually, at one point, I got caught by one of the teachers, and she's like, Diego, you can't be doing this, and I'm like, wait a minute, Mister. I don't remember what his name was. Wait a minute, Mister. I pulled out a cock and I gave it to him. I go, this one's on the house. This one's for you.
You bribed
And
them.
and to my surprise, he walked away happy. And eventually, sooner or later, the teacher started paying started paying me for his soda.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if his conscience got to him, but he's like he approached me. He's like, I gotta close you down. You have to stop. I don't want to get in trouble, and I definitely don't want to get in trouble. So I'm like, okay, it's it's whatever. But before that, because my friends started going, they pay a little more because it was calling the machine. So I wanted to compete with a machine. At the time, I know I was competing at the machine. So I'm like, okay, they want cold. I'm gonna bring in small coolers with ice and put them in the and still charge the same. I'm not gonna charge anymore for the ice. And then I started bringing like candy, gum, and they would buy my gum and my candy as well.
You started a bodega in your locker.
Yeah, like a small
Yeah.
warehouse.
Little convenience store.
Yeah, and that's my teacher called me, shut me down, and that was the end of it.
So, but still, that is where you started all of it, because since I've known you, you had, what was it? What was your other one too? Was not Petsotics? What was the other one? The other store that you had?
Oh, multiple aquariums.
Yes, that's the one that was the maintenance too, right? You
Yeah, the
did maintenance,
maintenance,
yeah,
and it was all fish stuff
yeah, and you
dedicated to
sold
the fishing.
like WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Plant things and stuff,
Yeah,
and but so the whole time that I've known you, you have been running your own business now. Yeah, and you do today, petsotics.com. Everybody, you see right there in his name. You run it today. Do you also work a different job? or does that pay your bills?
No, I work a full-time job.
Okay. What do you
I
do
work
today? What kind of work do you do today?
I work at a kennel boarding, daycare, training.
Okay. With and do you get to what do you do there? Do you get to train the dogs and stuff, or are you the official cuddler for the dogs? I mean, I could do that.
Yeah. No, I'm in kennels and boarding. So the dogs that like when people go on vacations, they
Yeah.
take their dog there, and we take care of them for the length of their vacation.
I don't know how people do that. That's so tough. I was away from Wally for 5 days, and man, it just the whole time I was whining to everybody. I miss my dog. I think people
Yeah,
were getting tired of me talking about it.
yeah,
I don't know how you do that. I don't think I don't know that I'll ever do that again. He'll always be with me.
yeah,
But some people take long vacations, like rich people that can afford to board and kennel their animals.
yeah.
So
And
go ahead.
that's where they have two locations, and one of them is actually in a what do you call it, like in an upper scale part of where I live. That they call it something else, but it's still the same town, but
Gotcha.
it's a little bit more upper scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the closest big city to where you live?
That would be Greenville.
Okay. Because I know we have, man, I don't know. There is somebody who lives in South Carolina. I think most people are in North. Who's in South? It's not Brandon, right? B Wizzle? I can't remember. There are other people live in North Carolina. Cat House, Catahoula. I mean, his name is SC Catahoula, so he might live in South Carolina. Um, anyways, I just wondered. I think how far is Greenville from? I wonder if Paul Cetera is here. Can't see the chat. We'll get there when we get there. Okay, so do you know any of our community that lives around you? Do you know anybody? Do you see anybody from our community or anything?
No.
You haven't been around too much. I mean, I see you from time to time, but you've been too busy, right, to hang
Yeah,
out too much with us
yeah.
recently.
Too busy or too tired or a little bit
Yeah,
of both.
because you and my buddy Ed, Chattanooga Ed, used to do a stream. Was it on Tuesday nights? I can't remember what night it was.
Yeah, it was Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
used to do a stream, you and Ed, and that's when I first started coming around. I remember you guys doing that. I don't know how long you've been doing it at that point, but you did, some interview stuff and got some guests and things like that. So, and then you were doing live streams with Susan, I think on
Yeah.
Thursday afternoons, right?
Yes, Thursdays at 5.
So now you're just too busy, though. You don't have time to do all that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I'm thinking of getting to it on Thursdays. I'm trying to work on doing a live stream. I already asked someone if they could be a co-host. It's not Ed and it's not Susan. It's someone else.
Okay.
And that live stream, I want to set up to where I have people from either from the fish community, from the fish fam, or the reptile community who have businesses, whether they do it from a small facility or their house,
Oh,
or
okay.
they actually have a store,
Okay.
but that they're doing it as a business.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll, if I can get enough people, maybe I'll pay the extra $25 is what it was when I checked last time to get more than 6 people up on the panel. If I can get that many people, if I'm not, there's no reason for me to pay for it.
Well, I think you don't even. I think it would be interesting just you and your co-host and just one other person that talks about their business. I think
Yeah.
that would be a lot of fun because we don't really get the business side of things very often, and there's plenty of people in our community that have a storefront or sell online. I mean, Pooplin and Foxanne and KJE and Jesus. I mean, just a ton of different people that have some type of storefront or whatever to where they sell stuff. So you could, if you could get those people scheduled,
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it for a few months at least, probably.
Yeah, because a lot of times I see stuff on YouTube that are like buy a fish for, say, a freshwater fish for $3 and sell it for 6, and your profit is $3. Well,
No.
that's not necessarily true, because you got to take
Yeah.
into consideration, not without getting into the business side of it,
Yeah.
but you got to consider all the expenses.
Yeah. There's a ton of overhead, right? I mean,
Yeah.
depending on what it is, but there's all
And
kinds of stuff to go into it.
and by the time you do all the numbers, you can end up only profiting 5-10 cents on that fish. So it's like, why do people give whatever? I'm not going to get into it, otherwise I'm going to go into a rant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's that way with any topic out there, that you're always going to have those people that are saying, this is what you got to do, and they're usually loud and aggressive too. And they're
Yeah,
telling you, this is what you're going to do to make money. And
yeah,
especially when it comes to money stuff. I mean, if it's even regular hobby though, like with our hobby, with fish keeping, there's people out there that say, this is how you do it. And this is the
right,
only way to do it. We all
yeah,
know that they're full of shit.
yeah,
To be brutally honest, we all
yeah,
know that there isn't just one way for most things, that there is a lot of different ways that work
yeah,
depending on, a lot of different parameters, a lot of variables. There's all kinds of things. And, you know, uh, anybody who's just adamant about their way to do it is the best way is
yeah.
usually not right,
Right.
usually.
So that's why I want to get different people, both from the aquatics and reptile, that have businesses,
Yeah.
because not everybody's gonna work their business the same. Not everything's gonna work. There's no basic thing
Yeah.
that you can go off of. Whatever works for you, and that's what I want to get. That's the message I want to get out. Like, first, you do what works for you, but this is how all the people that are in business are doing it in many different ways, and this is what's working for them. It's
Yeah.
not it's not all it's not all how should I say, it's not all fun or glory, but at the end of it, depending how you run your business, it can be fun.
Yeah. I think you could expand that even beyond just reptile and fish people and go with just anybody that's animal related.
Yeah,
Any small businesses that are animal related. That even like the business you work for, those kind of businesses that are kennels and boarding and grooming, anything that's animal related, because then you really open it up. Because
yeah,
even though selling livestock is a lot different than grooming, there's still some things that are going to be interesting for people, and it's going to be pertinent across the board, so
right,
that, and if you do that and just go with anybody that is animal adjacent like that, yeah, I mean, you've got a ton of people, you got a
right,
huge audience of people to pick from. So,
yeah.
oh, interesting. So do you have a timeline on when you want to start doing that?
Um, no,
Just whenever you can get all your ducks in a row. And
yeah, I'm thinking probably the 23rd of this month.
oh, okay, so in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
because I got some people that I talked to before, and they asked me, yeah, just give me at least a couple days time so I can get ready and have my mindset that I'm doing it. I'm like, sure, I'll give you at the most 2 weeks, at least 1 week. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Cool. um I don't know if you're on fishfam.link or not, but if you're not, make sure you are so it can get scheduled and stuff. It really does help. The calendar there makes a big difference. And, um, it'll also let you. I know that your store, I'm pretty sure you're on there. I'm pretty sure you're on there because I know that
Yeah,
I've seen stuff about your store on there. So, um, but make sure you talk to them to add your stream to the calendar too, so people can see it. And even people that aren't subscribed to you can go there and see that you're live and want to go check it out and see what's going on.
right.
Okay, well, let's left. Was there anything more about that you wanted to tell us, or did we cover all of that part you wanted to talk about?
Um, yeah, pretty much done.
Okay, well, let's shift a little bit and talk about. I bet you don't have a lot of hobbies these days because you sound like you're a pretty busy guy. Do you have anything? I mean, do you like to play video games? Do you like to read? Do you like to bounce quarters off of people? I don't know. Do you have any hobbies that you enjoy doing?
Photography
Oh, okay. All right.
and
Uh, and with
videography, videos.
Okay.
So
And do you like get real involved? Do you just have a nice cell phone, or do you have like a really nice like DSLR camera or something, or even better? Or what? I mean, what kind
no,
of equipment? What level are you sort of with it?
right now I'm doing it with my cell phone,
Okay.
and
Mm.
I got the what do you call it? I don't have it here. Like the remote where I can just push a button, put my phone on like a tripod, and push a button
Yeah.
for the distance and do that. And a few
Yeah.
small lights, but nothing major that people would say you're a photographer. Just
Gotcha. So it's more for fun and learning how to
yeah,
be a photographer and stuff. And the new cell phones, Jesus, it they they're pretty damn good. You know,
yeah,
it's amazing the video and pictures that they can take. They really are, uh, up there to where nice big expensive cameras were just a few years ago. It's amazing how far they've
yeah.
come. Okay, anything else? Any other hobbies or anything? Or
Um, no,
okay, yeah, I didn't think you'd have a lot because again, it sounds like you're a pretty busy person. You're working on your business as well and things like that. So you probably don't have a ton of free time to do things.
yeah.
Okay, so we talked about where you lived and stuff. Have you ever gone back to California? Do you have any family at all in California?
I do. I have an aunt and a cousin, and I have gone back a few probably 15 years ago. I was born in Santa Barbara,
Okay,
so I went back the first time I stayed with my aunt in Santa Barbara, and I back then I wanted to live in California, so I actually stayed with her for a while and got a job at a mall.
yeah,
Like they have those malls where they also have like parking garages, and of course they're gonna charge for parking in their
yeah,
building. So I was like the person in the booth watching people in and charging people as they get out.
gotcha. Yeah.
I, I've been there twice in the last 15 20 years.
And what made you decide not to stay then? What made you come back home? It just wasn't working out for you? Or did you start missing your family in Chicago, or what was
It
it?
it wasn't it wasn't working out. It was like, no, this doesn't feel like I could live here. Like I could set my roots here. Like this could be my home. I'm like, no, it's more for like just visiting once in a while, have fun, go to the beach, whatever.
Yeah,
More like a vacation spot.
gotcha. You just weren't feeling it. It just didn't feel right to you to stay there.
Yeah,
Gotcha. But something about South Carolina did feel right.
yeah.
Do you know what the difference was? Yeah, do you know what made you want to stay in South Carolina as opposed to? I mean, obviously the environment's a little different, right? But
Yeah.
you know, what is it about South Carolina that made you want to stay there? Do you know?
Um, no, it was just pretty much I went with my feelings.
Gotcha. It just felt
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
It just felt like, okay, I love this place. I think I can make it happen here.
Was it like nature? You know, was it like the environment, like trees and beaches and stuff, mountains or anything, or
Um,
was it different?
no, because I'm not really a nature person.
Okay.
I mean, I love nature and all that, but I'm not like into nature, like going camping, taking a
Okay.
hike, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um,
You're into nature, but you don't want to be in nature.
yeah,
Okay.
like my mom loves dogs and pets from the far. That's I'm with nature. I love it from the far.
Okay. I get it. But it was just something that felt right. It was either the people or something that just made you feel like this is where I could live.
Yeah.
And it is a big change from Chicago. Plus, it's been, like you said, 15 years. You've only lived in Chicago during that time. So you probably, now, did you live in Chicago proper in the city? Proper. Or
No,
did you live in a suburb?
I live in the suburb. I lived
Okay.
1 hour away to the northern suburbs.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, probably close, not far from probably Rockford. Are you somewhere close to there?
Um, Probably like Rockford's probably like an hour. I'm
Okay.
I'm closer to the well, I was closer to the border of Wisconsin, probably like
Okay.
depending on which routes I went to and the time of day, traffic, and all that, I probably want to say 20 minutes to a half hour from the border of Wisconsin.
Okay. Still quite a few people in that area. I mean, there's quite a few that live up in there. I know, like Whip isn't too far. John isn't too far from My Fish Tanks Aquatics. Terry's Tropical Tanks. He's in Hammond. That's a little bit farther, but even if you go northern Indiana and stuff, and just all over Chicago, there's a lot of fish fam in that area. And
Yeah.
again, when we do open up to the chat, if somebody is in South Carolina, let us know. Because I swear we have some people, and I just don't recall who it was. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay. I got nothing else, Diego. I got nothing else. So I think it's time to open it up to the chat. Unless there's something that you would like to talk about or tell us. Is there anything that like happened in your formative years, or is there anything good, really good that happened to you, or really bad that happened to you that you want to share? Is there any kind of anything you're dealing with in your life that you'd like to talk about? Any of that kind of stuff?
Um, no,
Okay.
the currently the worst thing that has happened in my life was even though we weren't close the way I think a son and a dad should be.
Hmm.
We were never like that. He passed away like almost 2 years now here in South Carolina, and when I came here, he passed away when I got here, and after my I was here 8 months is when he passed away. So I got to spend some 8 months with him, and even though we
Yeah.
weren't we weren't we weren't really close, and we weren't like my definition of what a dad and son should be. We weren't like that. But I want to say that when I did come to South Carolina and I spent those 8 months with him, I mean I could say it didn't get well, it didn't get better per se, but it didn't get worse. And
At least you spent time with them over those 8 months. At least that was something, right?
yeah,
I get
and
where you're coming from exactly. Same exact thing. My dad passed away about 3 years ago,
yeah,
maybe even a little bit longer now, and same exact thing. Same exact thing. We were not close. We hadn't talked in 10 years, and so I get
yeah.
it.
If
Yeah,
if anything, throughout the years, I had resentment towards my dad for whatever the reasons were. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. I'll tell you that one on one, but I'm not going into that now. But that resentment built towards my dad, where it got to a point where I didn't want anything having to do with him, but yet I didn't do that because I didn't want to disown my dad, regardless. But when he was because he passed away here at my sister's house, we didn't
mm,
want to take him to like a what do you call it, a hospital or a holistic place. We didn't want him
yeah.
to. We didn't
Hospice.
want that for him. Yeah, hospice. And so I was praying, and because I believe in God. I hope you don't mind me if I say that because I know your thoughts are different.
No,
And
yeah. Everybody's. I never. You do you, man. That's all.
yeah,
That's what I've always said. Is
yeah,
whatever your beliefs are, just as long as you're not making me change your style, we're
no, no,
great. So,
no.
But yeah, I
So
have a lot of respect for people that believe as they do. So
yeah, so I'll just say I believe, and so I prayed, and I got like something hit me from within. I don't know if it was sadness, sorriness, or whatever the reason was. Um, maybe God said to me, "Just let go." So what I did is I got down on the bed because my dad has always asked me for forgiveness hundreds and hundreds of times throughout the years, and I couldn't forgive him because that resentment just kept it was just in there.
yeah,
And he tried every which way. Like I said, he helped me with the store. He gave me money. He got me cars when I needed a car. He bought cars, and he's like, you need a car? Take that one. I'm using it, but it's yours now. He tried every which way to make it better. but I just wouldn't budge. So when he was close to transitioning, I was praying and thinking, and so to make a long story short, I got down, put my arm around him, and said, I forgive you. I
You're gonna
forgive
get
you.
me. You're
I
gonna
forgive.
get me. I'm gonna start crying.
Sorry, I'm gonna start crying.
Uh,
And
that's good though. That's good. I mean, that's
and said,
great.
yeah. So I hugged him and said, I forgive you for everything you've done to me. And it was like a big, because my friends always say, if you're not gonna do it for him, do it for you. And it's not that I was doing it for me or for him. It just it just happened naturally. I wasn't thinking
Yeah.
of like, oh, I'm gonna do it for me or I'm gonna do it for him. It just like happened with something just said me and said, do it. So I did.
So you're lucky. You're lucky because you were able to do that and you were able to let that go and able to get that out. Even if you weren't doing it for yourself, you were still able to just, I bet you did. Now, did it feel like just a weight was lifted off your shoulders and
Yeah,
maybe things were a little bit better?
yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing, and you were very lucky to be there to be able to do that. Not that to be there when it happened, but to be there and be able to forgive.
yeah,
Because I think it's right. I think a lot of times when you don't forgive, it hurts you more than it hurts the other person.
yeah.
Um, you know, it's difficult sometimes. So
And and my friends will always tell me, forgive him. If not for him, for you. And I was like, I will, maybe when he passes away, I'll forgive him. And my friends pretty much said, you're nuts. It's not the same thing.
yeah, it's
It
not.
it 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 may work for a couple days, but it's not the same thing.
It's not. Especially
So
when they can hear and see that you say you forgive them. They
yeah,
can't really, you know, they can't really see that once they're gone.
yeah,
So, well, good for you. I'm glad that you were given that chance to at least, let him know that you put it all behind you. And now, does it feel like when you forgave him, did it feel like you did put it behind you and like you could move forward better? Really? Or does it still those things still hang over you a little bit? Do you still think about them and still bother you?
um, I would say, as far as within my heart, it's been lifted. It's gone. It's a big relief. But I mean, as far as in my brain and thinking it, I mean, I think most of us, for the most part, even though that hurt is gone, we're always gonna think it.
Yeah,
And thinking it, for me anyway, thinking it doesn't hurt at all or as much with actually having it in my heart.
yeah. Forgive, but don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And even now, I'm trying to. I want to be better spiritually, so I'm trying to do both forgive and forget.
I have a
Which
hard
is
time with that, but everybody, you got to do your thing. Whatever it is that can heal you and get you through and get you past those
right,
things. That especially when it's something that was not any fault of yours that was done to you.
right.
So, well, thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate people because a lot of times it's difficult to talk about that kind of stuff, but I always think it's important because, again, I always say this: we're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone, Diego. People out there have gone through the same thing. They're not alone, and when they hear other people talking about it, I think it just helps people. It connects us more, it brings us all together because we do have far more in common than we do those things that separate us out, right? We really do. uh, Humans have a lot more in common than we think, and hearing
Right.
that you're going through that kind of stuff, it's just humanizes you that much more, and lets us know what kind of person you are. It's important.
Yeah.
Important. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead on that note, and we will. Let me pull up the chat again, and we'll open up the chat. And I do see Zenny starting it out. So actually, I see Whip, even though he didn't do the at Rico stand, he's on vacation, so he's allowed. That's the very first one I see. I see my buddy Whip. He wanted to know Naperville. Did you live close to Naperville?
Um. No, it's probably where I was. I was in. I was in the center of the county, so pretty much everything around me was anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So
I know
it's
Whip lives in that area. I'm just looking at some of the stuff. Okay, so Zenny, thank you very much for putting that. Again, I'm going to skip over other comments because you guys are talking amongst yourselves, which is fine. That's great. Please do. But I'm looking for questions for Diego. So please do the @RicoStan if you'd like him to answer any of the questions. So the very first one is from our friend Coral, and Coral said, "What's your favorite fish to eat? And would you keep that fish in a fish tank?"
my favorite fish to eat. I like salmon.
Me too. Me too. I love salmon. And now that'd be difficult, but would you keep it if you had the proper size tank? Would you keep that, even though you like to eat it so much?
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't think I'd keep a salmon either. Oh, it just jumped on me. Hopefully, it didn't jump too far. Okay, so next up is Zenny. If you had to share your living space, home, or work with any fictional character, sort of like a personal sidekick, but they're also your roommate, who would you pick? So it's somebody, their roommate, but they're also, like she said, like a sidekick. Any fictional character, nobody real. Somebody from a movie, or I know who I would pick, Zenny, but I can't say her name because she makes adult films or something.
I don't know. I would probably pick. Oh, it's kind of hard,
It's a
but
good
it's
question.
not hard.
Zenny asks all kinds of good questions like that. That's a good one. I'm thinking about it myself on who you know what? I think I would pick Yoda. I think Yoda would be fun as a roommate.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, Yoda would be a lot of fun.
Because like I have like three what do we call it, alter egos,
Oh, gotcha.
and Yoda is one of them,
Okay.
and I have two that are fake and one that's real, and Yoda is one of them. So I was thinking, yeah, either, and Spider-Man is my other one. So I was thinking, yeah, either Yoda or Spider-Man. But at this point, I think I'd go with Spider-Man.
I think both of those are good. I think both of those are good. Skipper came in. Hi, Skipper. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. Hello to everybody. Stu, I see a whole bunch of people. 43 people in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I got to scroll back up now. Okay, here we go. It'll constantly jump on me, so I'll be trying to find your questions again. And please, one more time, just do the @RicoStan so that it really pops out. I can really see it. I use that black background and it's orange, so it just really. So Whip says, assuming he's comfortable with answering the question, where in the northern Chicago suburbs did Diego live? In any Naperville, Gurnee, Zion, Waukegan, Highland Park? He wants to know where roughly around Chicago you lived, if you're comfortable answering.
I don't want to say the exact location, but
Okay.
I'm, like I said, where I'm at. I'm anywhere between 20 minutes and 45 minutes an hour if I go to the city. So I'm the closest town I can say I'm 5-10 minutes away would be Lake Forest. The Lake Forest, Buffalo Grove, Libertyville, Vernon Hills area.
Okay, he'll probably know where that's at. I don't remember. I mean, I haven't been in that. I haven't even been back to that area since I was like 12.
And if he knows the area and thinks about it, I'm sure he can pinpoint
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
he's lived there for quite some time. Okay, next up is Nathan. Nathan said, okay, so his question, and again, these are some questions that people ask every time. We haven't done a focus on now for like 2 months, so it's good to get back at this. But Nathan asks this every time. So he wants to know, there's only one fish that everybody could keep in their aquariums. What fish is that? That's the only one we're allowed to keep. what fish is being designated as the safe one for everybody to keep?
Safe one.
It's the only one. Yeah, we're only allowed to keep one
Oh, the
for
only one.
everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even have to think about that one. I love angels, so it had to be
Okay.
angels.
Okay. Angels is not bad. I mean, at least you got some colors and stuff to play with there, and at least they're
Yeah.
not sort of the same. But there's a second part of that. He wants to know what fish shouldn't be allowed to be in the hobby. What fish should nobody should no regular hobbyists be able to keep?
Um, that's a little tougher because there's so many.
I always have an answer for that. My answer's always been the same, and I stand by it 100%. And that would be the common pleco, because how big they get, and most of the time the stores selling them don't tell people. So it's not so much that it shouldn't be in the hobby, I guess. It's one of those things where every animal sold, regardless, needs to have all of its information available for the person purchasing it. The person acquiring that animal, they need to know all the information possible about it, how big they get, what kind of special care they need, and that's across the board, every single animal. So that's my answer, though, is the common pleco, because of how badly they're sold, and they don't tell them that there might be 2 inches long, and they don't tell them what they're going to get to be. Any other ones come to mind for you? Any like big fish or anything that come to mind for you? Or whatever, anything that just doesn't seem to be right to have in the hobby?
I'd probably say, I don't know, arowanas.
And why? Why would you not want them to be in the hobby?
I'm not sure.
Okay. That's okay. Because I would like to have an arowana, especially those ones. I don't remember what they're the long fin ones. They're the ones that are just like, I don't want to say they're new, but I've only been seeing them a lot recently. They've got big flowing fins. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I don't remember what they're called, but they just look beautiful. I would love to have a tank big enough for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Whip again. And Whip wants to know, if you had a generational wealth, money is no longer an issue. You don't ever have to worry about money ever again. You don't have to go to work. You have all the money you could ever want. You can do anything you want to do. What are you doing, and where are you doing it?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Blowing up my business.
But you don't have to worry about money, so you don't even have to run a business unless you just enjoy the aspect of business itself, because you've got all the money you ever could want. Would you still want to grow your business?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had all the money you ever could want, then you would never worry about risks or anything. You could corner the market on whatever.
Yeah.
You could be known as the guy, be like Diego, the, I don't know, Hat King or something. I don't know. I mean, you could just be
like two of my closest friends from Chicago. They have their own businesses as well, and with one of them, because I always tell them I wanna have a pet empire. I wanna buy a bunch of local pet stores, and I want to get to a point that if I wanted to buy Petco or PetSmart, I would have that option. I could do that and just like corner the market, you know. And one of my friends is like, okay, that's cool, and my other friend is like, that's illegal. It's monopoly. You're monopolizing the industry, and I'm like, no. The way I look at it is, I'm a conglomerate, not a. I don't do monopoly. I'm a conglomerate. And she's like, well, okay, you could say that, but you're still monopolizing the industry.
Now, as an add-on to that, if let's say you did buy Petco and PetSmart, would you make any major changes to their business? Would you? I mean, is there anything that you would do, being a hobbyist such as you are, would there be any changes you would make to how they deal with their livestock?
Yeah, I would.
I mean, it would be irresponsible of you not at that point, And
Yeah,
I mean, there's some places, not all the Petcos and PetSmarts are the same. I hear oftentimes that this one has a great manager and they run them really well, but anything that's selling livestock, I don't know. Just
okay.
okay. Go ahead.
When I worked at Petco, I got hired as the aquatic specialist because I wanted to be work with fish. So I got hired as an aquatic specialist. Of course, they all have the department managers and all that, right? And it was kind of like a, what do you call it, where you could do one thing but you couldn't do another.
Mm,
Me, I would like when customers would come and look for fish, whether they had 100 tanks before, have 100 tanks now, or it was their first one. I don't know what people have in their houses or how experienced they are, so I would always qualify them. And if I didn't think they were not capable but qualified enough to take care of fish at that point, I wouldn't I wouldn't say no to them. I would try to educate them and not discourage them, but encourage them to like educate themselves, whether it was through me or somewhere else. But then Petco is like, no, just sell it. Don't
yeah,
worry about their qualifications. They
yeah,
were just worried about selling. So
yeah.
I was like stuck between whatever and whatever.
Well, like every corporation, their only reason for existence is to make money for their shareholders, so they don't care about the rest of it.
Yeah,
Uh, Next up, Big Cat wants to know. Hi, Big Cat wants to know if you believe in aliens.
I do.
Okay, I think most people do. I think more and more people do. I think it's very short-sighted to not think that there's something out there between all the planets that are, you know, available. The number is so huge. There's got to be something out there, right?
Yeah,
Now, with that, do you think aliens have visited Earth?
yeah.
I think it's definitely possible. Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, there's a lot of phenomenons and unexplained things in the world that, for all we know, it could be alien life.
Sure. I mean, I've seen some of you people out there in the chat, so I know aliens exist. Okay, scrolling back up because it jumped on me. Mikey B's here. Mountain Greenery. Oh, we got Big Cat in Mountain Greenery. His better half is next. If you could live now, do you have any aquariums set up currently?
I don't.
Okay, because this question's not going to work then. If you could live in any one of your aquariums, which would it be and why? So you don't have any aquariums currently set up,
No.
so you can't answer that question. If you could live in any one of my aquariums, which would it be and why? You can't even see them though. I mean, you can't see the 55, you can't see the 45 tall, and that's all I have left. I have a 29 up here, and I've got 2 5-gallons by me here. So I've cut down 4 tanks, and I've got 3 more to go.
Yeah.
75. You want to live in a 75? It's the best. It's the best tank. I answer for you. Okay, Mikey B. Sorry, Mountain Greenery. That's one we can't ask. Mikey B says, if you could have invented something that's already been invented, what would it be? So, like, you become the person that has given this to humanity, or you're making the money from this invention, or something like that. So it's something that's already out there. Some genius already made this, whatever it is. What would that be? A lot of good questions. They're tough questions that really make you think.
Yeah. Just one thing.
One thing, yeah.
Um. I mean,
My
this
answer,
this
go ahead.
this might be controversial, but I would probably say the firearm.
Okay, you want to be the guy that invented weapons, but those specific weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to explain. I said electricity. I would like to be that one. So, moving on. DJ Guppyfish Sal said, "What is Diego's favorite band or music? What do you like to listen to? Do you have a favorite band?"
I don't. In my teenage years, my favorite type of music was rap,
Okay.
and as I grew up and as I got older, I started listening to more music, different types of genres, and just started appreciating all types of different music. But I
So
don't have a
do you
I
listen
don't
to music often today? Do you I mean, is it on in the
um
car when you're going to work and stuff?
it the most I listen to music is in my car and probably just for 2 3 minutes and I turn it off.
Okay. So you don't have a lot of music in your life right now.
No, no, no.
You need to rectify that.
Yeah.
I think music's important for us. You know, I listen to music just about every day. I have a nice little Amazon show, one of the 10 sitting right here. It's got good sound for this little area. And I tell her to play music, you know, all day long. I'm thinking of specific songs and stuff. And now, granted, I'm retired and sitting here at home all day long, so I've got plenty of time for that. But I think music's important. I really do. I think it's very important in people's lives. Okay, here we go. Another one from Zen Ginger. Thank you guys so much too, because that's I look forward to the second half of these conversations so much because you guys ask such great questions. Zenny wants to know if you could have one condiment for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Salsa, ketchup, mustard. What's it going to be? Relish, hoisin sauce. What's your one condiment? It's a great question.
One. Probably pepper.
Is pepper a condiment or a spice? I think it's a spice.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it's
is it a condiment? I have to go with some type of salsa then.
Salsa, because it's so versatile. You can eat it on all kinds of different stuff, and it's more fitting than say a ketchup. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Good answer. Good answer. Top 5 answers on Adam McReynolds. Hello. What monster fish do you wish could be kept as a small schooling fish? So it's an arowana. It's whatever, bichir. It's something, even Oscars, things like that. It's a good sized fish, but you wish that had like a nano form of it. Is there any monster fish that you would like to see as a nano type schooling fish? I like that question.
I think it would be cool to see nano stingrays.
Good. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, that's a good one. That changed my mind because I was thinking those arowanas that I was talking about, and but yeah, some little stingrays like that would be so cool. It'd be like hillstream loaches almost with that body type. But yeah, yeah. Good one. I like that one. Okay. Oh yeah, we got plenty of time. Nathan said, no question here. He just has a comment about he asked the question about what plant or what fish should not be in the hobby, and you said arowana. Nathan said, I agree with the arowana not being the hobby. I can go to pet supermarket right now and buy one, and they won't tell me anything about them. Gotcha. And that makes sense. And I'm surprised. I thought the arowanas. No, I'm thinking of something else. Okay. Okay. There's Nathan. It just jumped on me again. Disco Stu wants to know if you're related to Rod from Predatory Fins.
No.
And Coral wants to know if you could take 10 years off and pursue any world record what would you do? So he also adds to that, though, National Geographic is sponsoring it or something. All your bills are paid. You don't have to worry about making any money or paying for any of it. You're going to break a world record. What would you like to break?
May sound weird, but holding my breath.
Okay. Your name would be on it. Yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit farther. That's the first time Coral's asked that one that I remember. That's a good question. I like it. And I would say I want to have the world record for paying off either educational bills for people in the United States, and I am just limited here because of, or health medical bills. Like I want to be the person that has paid off the most medical bills or education costs. That my name would be on that as a world record. Like I paid, 50,000 people's medical bills. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit out of what you're asking there. But if somebody's taking care of it, taking care of all the money, I'm going to spend it wisely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm scrolling down again. Steven said, oh, she's cooking at the moment. So Jenna's Freaky Friday question. So Jenna's question, what she asks all the time, is who would you like to see? Freaky Friday, the movie, right, where they body switch.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see do that in the Fish Fam? It doesn't have to be you. It's more fun when you include yourself, but it doesn't have to be. If you'd like to see two other people switch bodies, that's fine too. Who would you like to see switch? Another fun question. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially because you haven't been around as much recently because being so busy. Like I see you pop up from time to time, but not like you used to be.
Yeah. This is from the Fish Fam, right?
Yeah. Yep. Anybody in the Fish Fam. And again, you can include yourself or not. It doesn't, whichever way you want to go with it. See, it's tough.
I'd probably say I would say Pam.
Okay.
I'm thinking Susan from SLC Aquatics.
Okay. They definitely have very different personalities. Yeah. They definitely have very different personalities. I think I would like to see Whip and Fishymon, because Whip is like 6, or Steven or Ryan from Wild Fish Tanks, one of those tall guys, and Fishymon, because Fishymon's a little guy. And those guys are all like, 6'4", 6'5". I think Ryan's like 6'7". He's super tall. I think that would be amazing for Kirk to switch and be able to see what it's like to be a tall guy, and for that tall guy to see what it's like to be a little guy. But they got to go out in public, and like go to a grocery store and get stuff off the top shelf and things like that. How much fun would that be for Fishymon being able to just reach over, but then Ryan having to jump up to get stuff? I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's see. Nathan, I just happened to get your thing there. Because you spelled my name wrong, dude. Rio Stan. Her name is Rio. If it's been asked, my apologies. What superpower would you have? You know what? Let's change that a little bit. We're going to take Bunny Viper. I don't know if she's here. I think she was here earlier, but Bunny Viper was asking if you could have one of these superpowers, which one would you take? Be invisible or fly? Which one would you like?
Invisible or fly?
Yeah.
Probably fly.
Yeah. I think that's the better one. I can't remember. Was it Nathan? Were you the one that said invisible? I can't remember. I think pretty much only one person has said invisible. Everybody else has said fly. Yeah. I think flying would be amazing. It would suck if you're scared of heights, but maybe you get over it. Maritza, hi Maritza. Is there a
Well,
food that you hate the most? Oh, go ahead. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
let,
Or
let's just say that I'm neither afraid of heights or flying. I'm not afraid of heights or flights.
heights or flights? um, what food do you hate the most and why?
The food I hate the most would probably be sushi.
Really?
'Cause- yeah,
Oh,
because
there you
I, I don't
go.
I don't like I don't like the taste.
Yeah, but there's so many different kinds.
No, no, you're right, and I gave it a chance at many different kinds, many different
Okay.
types, many different
Okay.
flavors, at
I like
many
it.
different locations, and so I was like, "No, sorry, it's not for me."
You've done your due diligence. You're allowed to have that answer.
Yeah,
um, I absolutely
I
love
give
it.
it I gave it more of a chance than I probably give any other food that I
Yeah,
don't like more than
I
anything
love
else.
it. I love it. I've never had sushi that I did not like. So, and what is it about it that you don't like? Is it just the textures and stuff, or what is it that turns you off from it? Do you even know?
I think it's just the taste.
Okay, okay. So the
Yeah.
flip side of that is, what's your favorite dish and why?
My favorite dish, meaning my favorite food,
Yes, yes.
um, hamburgers,
Okay. Cheeseburgers or hamburgers?
cheeseburgers,
Okay. All right.
bacon
You saved
burgers,
yourself.
pizza burgers,
Okay.
all of it.
Yeah, yeah. And what is it about? It's just again, it's just the flavor, just the combination that you like.
Yeah, it's a combination. Uh,
I like them because they're so portable. You don't have to have silverware. You don't have to have a fork and a spoon. You can be walking down the street eating a burger and then you're just fine. So I like that. I like
yeah,
portable foods. You know,
yeah.
that's a good one. Okay. Um, Thank you, Zen Ginger. It didn't, but I did accidentally just happen to see it. So, and there's Melvin coming in saying hi, Melvin. Mikey B wants to know if you like raisins.
Do I like raisins?
Yeah,
I don't.
good
I don't
man.
hate them, but I don't like them. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I rarely have them, so
I absolutely hate them, and that's why he's asking because he knows that
yeah.
because he knows that. Can I? Oh, I missed it. Can you start with mine? I don't even know, Big Steve. Oh yeah, the medical bills and the healthcare bills. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, next is I'll allow it, Nathan. I believe I did say invisible. You could do anything you wanted. Yep. You know what? We're at the bottom of the chat. Coro said sushi is really just a sticky rice. Everything else is a garnish. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Raisins versus prunes. I'll take the prunes any day. What about you? Raisins versus prunes. Would you rather have raisins or prunes?
I think in my whole life I had more prunes than raisins, so I'll
I
take
don't
prunes.
mind prunes. Prunes are okay, which is weird because that's the same style, you know, as
Yeah.
raisin. It's the same process basically. So I just don't. I hate raisins. Hate them. Okay, we are at the bottom of the chat. Unless a question or two comes in before we're done, we will end it here. We'll go to 8:30. We'll give it till 8:30. Um, so let's see. I am going to be streaming more often, especially in the daytime. I'm doing the afternoon delight Monday through Friday at noon to 2 p.m. every day. I'm trying to get back into the focus ons as well. And if you wouldn't mind being on the show, my email address is at the very top of the screen up there, rico@ricostan.com. Shoot me an email, please. Let me add you to the list. I know I've probably had most of the people here up on the stream. I've had most of you people. But if you would like to come up on the focus on, please send me an email. Let me add you to the list. And Mickham does have a question. Hi, Mickham. What place in the world would you like to visit? So, someplace you really like to go?
probably Ecuador,
Okay.
since my sister and my brother-in-law been there and they say it's great. They love it. So I would like to see it for myself.
I would like to go to Ecuador. I'd like to go to Peru, all over that